Right. Welcome to the video. I hope you're doing great and you have a fantastic day out there. Today I'll take you through some of the component choices that I've made with some of the simpler components that you're gonna need for your bike. I'll go through the crank, the handlebars and stems, and I'll show you my bottle cages. And we'll start with the bottle cages. Now, everything I use for my bikes, I usually order it on AliExpress, and I've had really good quality and I've had really good success. These bottle cages, all carbon, is just one example. I've used them multiple times on different builds and different bikes, and they just hold up really, really nicely. They're stiff enough, they fit with the bottles that I use, they hold on to the bottles very neatly, and they're extremely cheap. I think it's like two of these for something like 15 US dollars on AliExpress, and it's just, you can't really beat that. And I think they look cool, I think they look slick, so I use them every time. Now for the build this time, because the pink theme in the frame and on the seat, the chain stays and inside the fork, I was thinking about going pink with something like the bottle cages or the handlebar tape, and I might still. So this is at least my preliminary idea of bottle cages. For the Crankset, I usually go with some of the Shimano cranksets just because I know how they work. The bottom bracket, the press fit bottom bracket that you get with the frame set is for the 24mm spindle, like the Hollowtech Shimano kind. So I just know that it's so much easier if I use Shimano cranks, and I usually do that. But this time I wanted to try something a little different to see, okay, what is actually on offer if you buy some of the cheaper aftermarket stuff. And I bought this, Racework. And I fell in love with this grid and pattern and like spider web kind of idea. So it's a 24mm spindle, just like Shimano, has the same kind of system as Shimano. So you attach the other part, you put in some preload cap, and then you tighten it in with these little bolts. So same kind of idea. Now it's a 50-34, and I'm going to use a 2x system on the gravel bike. The reasoning being that I've chosen kind of an untraditional, well, just a untraditional system for the rear derailleur and front derailleur. I'll present that in another video. And so I just wanted something that I could also use on the road. One of my ideas is that I want a bike that if I just change out the wheel set to my normal road bikes, I would still be able to enjoy it on the road. So that's why I've gone for 2x. I understand that most people would do 1x builds, and you could certainly do that and with the frame set and everything, but this is just a choice I've made. I'm a little unsure about the crankset, to be honest. It looks okay and it feels okay, but it's probably, I haven't weighed this one, but it's probably going to be a bit heavy. Now it is hollowed out in some of those areas like Shimano does, so it's probably not that bad. And I haven't weighed it, but I just, there's some things that just look a little bit off, but we'll see. Now, the weight of the bike is not what I'm mostly concerned about when it comes to this gravel bike. It's not my biggest thing, and I live in a relatively flat country, so weight is not that important anyhow, even on race bikes. So I'm just trying to try different things out, and I just fell in love with the look. And I think it's a point for at least some of you when you build your bike. Think about what you would like, your feeling, what you feel passionate about, and what you think would look cool, and then just go ahead and try it out. Now this one was, I think it was something like 60 or 70 US dollars. It's not a huge amount, at least not when it comes to bikes. So I'll try it out, and perhaps I'll change it to a 105 Crankset or a Chiakra or Altegra if I can find a used one down the line. But no, we'll go with this one, and I think it looks cool. And for the handlebar stems, well, I guess my idea of gravel handlebars are the flared bars. So I chose one with a 25-degree flare, and it has a relatively shallow drop. And for the stem, I chose a mountain bike stem out of carbon that I just think it just looks cool. I think it's going to give it a little bit of a rough look to the bike. So these are also just components from AliExpress, just some of the random components. What I usually do when I buy stuff on AliExpress, I go for the things that, I guess like most people, I go for the things that have sold the most, because it's usually a good indicator that if they keep shipping the same product, it's a stable seller, people like it, they get relatively good ratings, and those are some of the things that I go for. So these were the component choices, and we'll get on with the build.